Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for your Friday Foundation Fix, where you can get your fix of foundation reviews in between foundation fests. And today we are keeping it light for summertime. I am going to check out the Kiehl's Skin Tone Correcting and Beautifying BB Cream. This is an SPF 50 BB cream. Retails for $38. You get 1.35 fluid ounces of product. So if you are comparing ounce per ounce, it's about 28 bucks per ounce. On Ulta and Sephora's websites, you can get this in 3 different shades, but if you go to Kiehl's website, they have a 4th shade available. They're all fair to medium. There's nothing in the deep end of the range. This is described as a dual-action formula that instantly conceals imperfections with lightweight, buildable coverage, clinically proven to correct skin tone irregularities because it contains vitamin C and provides all-day hydration. They recommend applying with fingertips, and if you take a little deep dive into the ingredients, it looks like a combo chemical and mineral sunscreen. Denatured alcohol is very high up in the ingredient list, and that is a very drying kind of alcohol to have in a product. Now, right above that, so implying there's slightly more in the product, is glycerin, which can be a hydrating ingredient. So maybe it cancels out the dryness of the denatured alcohol. This one makes me nervous because my skin dehydrates very, very easily. It's normal to dry, and that denatured alcohol is usually a red flag for me, but we will find out. Let's take a look at this shade. I've got Fair Light, the lightest shade, swatched against a few others in my collection. Alrighty, let's swatch. I always feel like BB and CC creams are like a rainbow of unknown colors when you swatch them. First up, I've got today's BB cream, the Kiehl's Skin Tone Correcting and Beautifying BB Cream in the shade Fair Light, which is their lightest shade. Second, I've got the Hourglass Illusion Skin Tint in Vanilla. Third up is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Tinted Gel Cream in shade Opal 01. Fourth is the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Cream, the regular one in shade Fair. And last, I've got the Thrive Cosmetics Buildable Blur CC Cream in shade Fair Light. I've already cleansed, moisturized, sunscreened my face. I've got a 44-year-old mug here, some sun damage I like to cover up. I've got large pores. I've got deeper smile lines, forehead lines, texture between the eyebrows. Normal to dry is the name of the game on this face. Let's see, we've got a squeezy tube with a flip top. I have primed with the Tarte Base Tape. This is their hydrating primer. I figured might as well give my skin every shot that it's got to succeed with this one. Looks a little bit dark, but we will see. This feels really comfortable to apply. It's not too thin, it's not too thick. It's got just enough slip to it without feeling like it's moving around. It feels like it's sort of grips into place once you've blended it out. I don't see much reduction of redness from one side to the other. I do think it's doing a little bit to even out skin tone compared to the side with nothing, but I do still feel like I've got a little bit of redness, especially on my chin coming through. But let's do the whole face and see where we end up. Not much coverage, but I think it does kind of make everything come together a little more cohesively. Got a little bit left. I'm just going to dab it over my sunspots and see if I can get a little more coverage. Yeah, we've got minimal coverage going on. It's definitely a radiant kind of a finish to it, so I think this is really just kind of giving you a little bit more cohesion to the overall look of your face. It's not really doing much to blur texture or pores, but it's not at all accentuating them. I think it's a very skin-like finish. I still see some of the imperfections of my skin coming through, but it does not look like wearing a ton of makeup at all. Just a bit of a cohesion improvement, I would say. It's not clinging to any dry patches. It doesn't seem to be settling or gunking up anywhere. It looks like even on my nose it is sitting nicely. It looks like it's sitting nicely pretty much everywhere. I got it in my eyebrows, of course, but other than that, I don't see any trouble in terms of, strange consistencies along the hairline or anything like that. Everything is looking pretty good so far. It's staying really tacky. I'm going to give it a few minutes. We'll see if I end up having to set it with powder. Let's check the time. 12:44. Let's go get the rest of this face on. I will be right back. So far, so good. Nothing unexpected going on. I did end up having to set this with just a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish because it just stayed a little bit too tacky. Before that, though, I went in with the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. I used everything in the palette, the cream blushes and the blush and highlights. Then I set with a little bit of powder, and then I went in with a tiny bit of the Fenty How Many Carats Diamond Balm, because you can never have too many carrots on your face. No trouble blending concealer. I'm wearing the Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer, and yeah, everything seems to be just fine. I think the only thing right now that I would say might be a little disconcerting is it stays just a little bit tacky. Not so much that anything's sticking to it, but I feel like I have a tacky substance on my face, which it's lightweight but noticeable. So that is where we're starting out. On my eyes, I've got the Viseart Petite Pro 3 and the Viseart number 6 Paris Nudes eyeshadow. My upper mascara is, I think I already put it away, the Butter London Double Decker, and my lower mascara is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Zero Smudge. And for lips, I've got the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm, and on top of that, I put a tiny bit of the Lancome L'Absolute number 202 for a little bit of color, and I like how that turned out. So that is where we are starting out. I will come back in a bit with a daylight check-in, then I'll be back tonight with my final thoughts. Almost out of sunlight. It is about 8 o'clock, so we're about 7 hours in, and I'm feeling kind of orange, you guys. I do not have any bronzer on. No bronzer. Just my orangeness. Especially, look at my hairline. Look how pale I am. And look how orange I am. That's not cool. I have not gotten a good look at this up close, but I can say at a distance I really like the finish. It's got like a dewy, it still feels like that tackiness. Not sticky, but it's almost that feeling like when you're sweaty and then the sweat dries down on your face, except that I'm not sweaty and no sweat has dried down on my face. I don't feel too dry, so I think all that glycerin is counteracting the denatured alcohol in this product, but yeah, I'm pretty orange. Looking pretty orange. That's where we're at right now. I'll be back in a bit and we will wrap this thing up. 12:12 a.m. Make-A-Wish. That puts us just past or around the 11-hour mark. Let's take a look and see how the Kiehl's Skin Tone Correcting and Beautifying BB Cream held up. There's not a whole lot of it left, and how do I describe this? It seems to have moved around in places so that it's gathering darkly in some areas around my hairline. There's like a stripe on my nose here, and every place else it's just gone for the most part. And it's not super comfortable to wear. feels kind of tacky. At this point in the night, it does feel slightly drying. I feel the tightness in my cheeks and my temples. Now, that said, it's not nearly as drying as I expected it to be with all of that denatured alcohol in here. I think it's the third ingredient. It is way up here. They don't have it on the tube. It's on the website. So let's take a look. Not much left on my chin. It did settle into my deepest chin lines. As we look at my nose, most of the product is gone except for that sort of strange gathered stripe of product, and there's a little bit clinging to the texture of the dry skin around my nostrils. Blush, bronzer, highlight are partially intact. I mean, they're still there a little bit. There's product clinging to the texture between my eyebrows and my forehead. Just looks kind of gross. Like there's orange splotches all over my forehead, and then along my hairline is just this like orange crusty line. I didn't do anything that would physically exert me to make me sweaty today. I was installing a camera outside, and I got probably 12 very non-aggressive raindrops that hit my body. I don't even think any of them really hit my face. I didn't get wet. I didn't get drenched. I didn't even go inside because there was like some raindrops, and then it all stopped and went away. So I don't have an explanation for why that's happening other than what the product has decided to do with my body chemistry. So if I had to give a grade to the KIEHLS BB cream, I've been going back and forth in my head late this evening between C- and D+, and I'm going to go D+ on this one, and here's why. I don't think it looks horrible at this point except for my forehead. It just doesn't look like anything has held up, but the two things that really bug me are the orange tone in a product that is supposed to be for fair to light skin tones. There's no such thing really as an orange fair to light skin tone. I can see when you're getting into the medium with the variety of tan shades that you can have, I can see how that range and up could have orange tones to it. But out in daylight, I look like a friggin' pumpkin. I asked my mom while we were out to dinner tonight, I said, does my face look darker than usual? And you know, she had me turn and show my neck, and she was being very polite and said, yeah, I think it does. It does look a little darker. Yeah, I looked like a Cheeto. So that is not appropriate for a fair to light shade. Could just be my body chemistry making that happen, but the shade coming out of the tube is a bit dark as well. And the second thing that just bugs me and is going to keep this out of an average range is how much denatured alcohol is in here. Now, not all alcohols are bad for your skin. Some are actually really good to have in a skincare product. They act as moisturizing components for hydration purposes, but those are usually the alcohols that have a word before them that ends in a YL. So when you're looking at names of alcohols in a list, you see those, don't think, oh no, it's alcohol. That's actually a good alcohol. They're hydrating. They're good for your skin. The SD alcohols and the denatured alcohols are the ones that are very, very drying to your skin. And yes, this has glycerin right before it has the denatured alcohol in the list of ingredients, but they're in the top 5. That means most of this product, there's a lot of alcohol in here, and that's just not good for dry skin. It's really not good for anybody's skin, but particularly drying to dry skin. It's a really cheap ingredient. This is not a really cheap product. We're not talking a $5 drugstore BB cream here that, you know, they got to cut corners somewhere to make it an affordable price. No, this is up there. This is a high-end price. No, I'm not cool with how much denatured alcohol is in there. So I'm going to go D+ on this one. I thought it looked very pretty for about half the day. I was not exceptionally impressed with the comfort level in terms of that sort of tacky sensation that it has had all day long. I'm going D+. That's where I'm at. If you can find a shade match, if you're not on the pale end of the spectrum, you might have better luck with this one, and therefore might grade it higher than I would. But I just cannot get behind an orange undertoned BB cream for fair skin that has a ton of denatured alcohol. So if you've got dry skin and you're fair, I'm going to say no go on this one. Below average. There you have it. One more foundation fix in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you enjoyed this one, if you'd like to see more of them, give me a thumbs up down below. Let me know in the comments what foundations or BB creams or face type base products would you like to see reviewed on this channel. Let me know in the comments. If you have not seen my master list, go to geekoutofwater.com, click the Foundation Fest link. It's a ranked, sortable, searchable spreadsheet of all of my foundation reviews. I've got over 120 of them at this point up there, and this one will be added within the next couple weeks. So check that out. Swipe. There's a ton of data in that spreadsheet. Swipe it all the way to the end and make sure you see everything. You can search for vegan, cruelty-free, SPF, hydrating, smooth, blurred, all different kinds of things. I have a bunch of suggestions on there. Go check that out if you haven't seen it already. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. Come back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for new videos. And I hope you all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.